All right, what is going on? How you doing out there? And happy Friday to everyone out there in Uncle Steve's Lounge and Atlanta Bird Gang. Thank you for joining us on a Friday, January 6th. It is the weekend, the first Friday of 2023. Hope everybody out there had a great first week of 2023. Got a long way to go. A lot of stuff to catch up on in a short period of time, but the last time I was on, I was actually on live when the unfortunate incident happened with Damar Hamlin on Monday night. And if you've been paying attention to what's going on recently, the great news is that they removed his breathing tube last night. I just saw a press conference with Sean McDermott, who was semi-emotional, as you can expect. And they had an actual Zoom call with his teammates this morning. So if you don't think God is at work, and whatever God you pray to, I pray to Jesus Christ myself, but whatever entity you do, they are at work. Because that young man, from what we saw on Monday, where, of course, our thoughts went totally in one direction. It is just amazing what God can do. For him to be talking, I know the other day, I want to say it was either yesterday or Wednesday, when they say he was writing. Goodness gracious. I mean, take yourself back, and yeah, forgive me. This is my platform. I do what I want to do. I mean, take yourself back to what you saw on that field and the outpouring of prayers and emotion and just the thoughts of what was going on there, you know. And I hear some of the people with the, oh, but what about the game? And just pray for y'all too. But you can't put in the words, not only a football player in that situation, but any person, put anybody in that situation where you see someone performing CPR on them. If they are doing that, it's not for a trial. It's not for a sample. They thought that young man's heartbeat had stopped. And now that we know all the information, they say they had revived him before he got actually on the ambulance and all the good stuff. And just to hear the news gradually as each day progressed. And I'm sorry, y'all. I did. When I was watching it, and I had to stop filming, man, because I wanted to see what happened to the young man. I wasn't thinking Falcon football. I wasn't thinking what I was thinking about. It could happen to anybody, not just on a football field. So I am just so ecstatic, man. And so happy and praise God, man, because that could have been that young man's last breath. Just a huge shout out. And you can't give enough shout out to the medical folks who were on the field. And I heard one person say it on the NFL network, on the radio, the Sirius XM. Aside of a trauma unit itself, if you were going to have that type of incident happen, the best place for that could have happened was at an NFL game, because they have so many trained professionals out there on the field. So to all the medical staff and everybody that rushed, and you just saw the urgency to try to, nobody knew when they came into that game and it kicked off at 8:15, 8:20 that they were going to be saving somebody's life. So a huge thank you to those folks, because that's just that's some amazing stuff, man. And as you probably know by now, the game was canceled. They're not going to replay the game. This is going to make for some going forward for some wonky things possibly happening in the AFC Championship game because they were saying that, you know, there might be some neutral site stuff and whatever. But you know what? I'm sure those players, football players, football players, period, are all just thankful that that young man is gonna make it through. So I just wanted to start with that, man. Y'all know I'm gonna recap, not recap, but preview what's going on here in Atlanta. Last game of the year, Atlanta, Tampa Bay. But I just had to shout out and continue to pray. As much as all these are positive steps, you know, he still has some healing to go. So don't just stop just because this happened. You know, he still got some healing to do, even when he probably gets out of the hospital. So just pray that this young man continues to heal in that direction. What's going on, John? How you doing, sir? Good to see you too. Thank you for the thank you as always, John, for helping us up. Smash the like button, and of course, we ask that you do that. It doesn't cost a dime if you guys just come on and like the channel, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends. I know we're going into the 2023. As much as everyone's, it's the end of the Falcons season, but if you think for 1 minute that this is the last time that I'm going to be on, and I'm going to be on through the playoffs, we're going to continue to have guests on. We're going to continue to go into the 2023 season. And guess what? About another month and a half, we're going to be talking about free agency. So let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep it rolling. Hold on 1 second. Full disclosure. I was getting my kids something to eat through Uber Eats, so I had to open the door. So shout out to Uber Eats. Lisa, how you doing? Happy first Friday, Falcons Friday 2023. Good to talk to your classmate. She also says, my heart has been lifted with the good news of Damar Hamlin's progress. How can it not, Lisa? It is so, Lisa, we talk about that could happen at the Benz. Think about the fans who had to witness some of that. Even, young kids and it's just anybody to have to do that, man. I'm hoping this continues to go in the right direction, but y'all just continue to keep praying for him, and we'll keep going. Travis, what's going on? Say Damar is a living testimony. He is. And also a testimony that prayers work. Prayers from all the way to President Biden. Not that, presidency makes any difference when prayer line is going, because, God doesn't have any authority, doesn't bow down to any authority. So we just glad that he was able to make it through that, man. That's shout out. Who is that? That's my brother James, man. How you doing, sir? Rise up from Kentucky. James is always in the house for us, man. Happy New Year to you, my brother. Lisa says, I was listening to you and watching the game on Monday night. The whole scene was really scary. Lisa, that's why I had to get off for a minute, because as the game was going on, I was kind of panning over to the left, and I saw the faraway shot when they had the ambulance, and I was saying, that looks kind of weird. Let me see what's going on. Then I saw the scroll. So yeah, that was crazy. Shout out to the first responders, man. Huge shout out to the first responders, because you saw the urgency, and in a case like that where every second matters, they were able to revive that young man to where he's talking on a Zoom call. I don't think everybody takes a deep. He lost his heartbeat. He went into cardiac arrest, and he's talking on a Zoom call this morning. But God, y'all. Lisa says the Bills training staff too. Yes, everyone involved were crucial to saving his life. And a shout out to the Cincinnati folks, because the Cincinnati folks ran over there, and not, when you're on the field and you're injured, I don't think they say, we'll just care about our team, whatever. But the Cincinnati folks went over there immediately. So shout out to the Cincinnati folks, because they were in Cincinnati. All the folks there, just awesome. The Falcons painted the number 3 in Bills blue on Bensville. Good job. Yeah, 1 game left. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rusty, what's going on? And before I go any further, man, y'all give a shout out to Rusty and his first child, man. Him and Stephanie, man. I'm just so elated to see those pictures, man. Congratulations, brother. Y'all enjoy, man. That's I saw the picture of you and your son on the bed, and he was kind of laid up against you. And I'm trying to tell you all those moments. My son's birthday was yesterday. He just turned 18. That I had so many moments. I have pictures that, of course, my body is nowhere as great as in shape as yours, but I have moments where she has both of them, man. My son when he was a baby, my daughter when he's a baby, where they're just laying up on you, man. There is no better feeling to be a first-time dad. So I just want to shout you out before we go any further. Say, Russ said, hey, Steve, haven't seen much of the last 2 games and haven't watched any lives in almost 2 weeks. I know you've been busy, brother. We excuse you. Where are the Falcons at with Ritter? What's the consensus as of now? And in my opinion, Rusty, as a rookie and as somebody who has first put his foot on a football field in the NFL, he has progressed little by little each game, in my opinion. What I like about him, he does have a little escapability. He's shown flashes that he can get the ball down the field. And it's something about the fourth quarter where he seems to, at least in all 3 games. Now, the first 2, obviously, he didn't finish the drill, but you can argue in the first game in New Orleans, that wasn't his fault, but we couldn't score the touchdown against Baltimore, but at least didn't seem afraid of the moment. And it's intangibles like that I'm looking for, aside of whether he can throw the ball 20 miles down the field and whether he can hit a flea on the top of the pylon or something like that. I like to see how he reacts. He doesn't seem scared of the moment. And last week, again, a situation where he probably could have easily scored. I just don't think he's scared. And so I would give him overall, Rusty, probably a C+, because you got to win the games. And yes, last week he did a great job. But I'm trying to keep in mind, and it's hard, but this is only his 3rd game. So I'm no way trying to just evaluate him in 3 games and he's not an NFL quarterback. So I think he's done well. Let's see how he does against Tampa Bay. Says they're going to play their starters. So let's see how he does against another good defense. He's played 3 pretty good defenses out of the 4 games in New Orleans, Baltimore, and then it'll be Tampa Bay. Mo, how you doing, sir? Say all glory to God. Absolutely, brother. Ain't no shame in that whatsoever. My cousin, what's going on, James? How you doing, sir? Good to have you on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Thank you for joining us as always. And my brother Ray, my military buddy, what is going on to you, my friend? Good to have you in the house with us talking about this last week of Falcon football for 2022 season, even though it's January 23. Abel, how you doing? Say thank you, God. We are all one football family. And man, listen, I'm trying to tell you, I have loved 95% of the response, not only in Atlanta Bird game, but overall. You always gonna have those 5% people that are just thirsty. That well maybe what about my fantasy points and they're not gonna play the game. What if I did all that BS and stuff, man? The majority of everyone has been absolutely fantastic during this time, and including yourself, Abel. Thank you so much. Lee, what is going on, Lee? Happy New Year to you, my brother. Thanks for checking in as always, man. We hopefully 2023 is a year that we can be in some playoff scenarios at the end of the year, man. I'm trying to tell you, I am, as I know you are, looking forward to seeing how we do this year. My brother Jimmy Wayne is in the house. What's going on, Jimmy? Say, can't wait for Sunday. Beat those Bucks, man. This would be what better way could you end a campaign than to slap Tom Brady around and beat a team with him on it for once, just once. And let's see if we can do that. So I'm going to be there, man. I'm looking forward to hopefully good things from Desmond and see if he can pull out the win for us this week. John says, shout out to you, Rusty. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That fatherhood, man, that's real. That's real stuff, man. Jimmy says, if Ritter wins on Sunday, don't miss this, y'all. But both Ritter and Mariota started their Falcon tenures 2-2. Yeah, but I don't know if that's a great. Again, Mariota has 6 years of experience behind him. Ritter will have 4 games. Not a fair comparison. I think when you just put a number up there, that's easy to say, but come on now. Mariota came into this season when he started for Atlanta. Every now and then, everybody flashes of when he was at Oregon, flashes of early Tennessee when they made the playoffs and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he was not going to be the long-term answer. I think even if Mariota had somehow, some way, was able to, come back and, get into this season and maybe won a couple more games, I'm not sure if he was the answer anyway, folks. I mean, I just don't think he was. I really don't. Lisa says, what does the comparison actually mean? Mariota had 13 chances. It ended up 5-8. Him starting 2-2 really doesn't matter much. Lisa, again, you are echoing my thoughts. I'll take it one step further. Mariota didn't have 13 chances. Mariota had 5 years. So what is that? About 60-something games worth? He had 60-something games worth of experience that to compare that 2-2, that's that, Jimmy. I'm kind of shocked. That's not even from your standards. That's not a good, not really a great comparison, unless you're just literally saying those are the numbers. I just don't think that's really comparing, really a good thing at the same time. So going into this game, what are we looking for, folks? As a Falcon fan, I'm looking for a win, always. But I also want to just see a glimpse into the future of 2023. In my best case scenario, I want to see special things from Ritter. I want to see him end the season strong. Again, we talked about the draft position already. It was going to only be between 6 and 9 anyway, somewhere between position 6 and position 9. That's on your general manager to be able to pick well at that point. There's no need to sit here and cry about, we could have picked number 3, all that crap. You're going into a season where you have more options than the draft this year. So for people to sit back and just only have thoughts of what position we're going to be in the draft, you're missing the big picture. You want to win. You want to win in this game. RJ for life, what's going on? ATL for life. How you doing today, sir? I apologize. I was pushing the wrong thing. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Falcon fan forever joining us on YouTube. What's going on? I'm looking for a win, and I want us to finally beat Brady. That finally beat Brady thing would be so great. So great if we could pull that off. And I think we can. I think we can. Dave, what's going on, David? Good to see you in the house. Said great news on Damar Hamlin. We started with that, man. We started and talked about that for the first 10 minutes, David, and you're absolutely right. Man, just again, shout out to all the professionals, all the folks who had something to do with helping him out in the hospital. I saw the press conference where the doctors came out, and most of the time when you have press conferences like that, and you could almost see they were stoic, but you could also see where it was just, it was half smiles on their face because they knew, it was some good news that they were getting ready to deliver. So again, great news on that. If you haven't heard, we started this with, he did end up having a Zoom with his teammates today. They removed the breathing tube from him yesterday, which of course means he's breathing 100% on his own. Still got a long way to go, but listen, he's through there. Jimmy says, I want to win. Algier gets his 1,000 yards and touchdowns from Ritter. I don't care about the yards. We need scores on the board. This is absolutely true. We absolutely need some scores. Speaking of scoring, and speaking of one of the guys who is one of the top Falcon creators on YouTube, he is known worldwide as Smitty. Antoine Smitty Smith on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. How you doing, my brother? Was that enthusiastic enough for you?
Worldwide. Okay, yeah. They said they'll get.
What's going on, brother?
On that one.
How you feeling, brother?
And then going on but the rip, my brother. You already.
Oh man. I didn't get a chance. We were on that particular night when things went down, man. And I know I saw some stuff from you earlier this week, but just encapsulate, if you will, before we get back into the Atlanta Falcons stuff, just what your thoughts were from Monday, where the young man collapsed and had no heartbeat, to where he's literally doing a Zoom with his teammates today. Just gives us your thoughts on that aspect of what we just saw this week.
What I saw after we got off the live on Monday, it was kind of disturbing, man. And shout out to his parents, man, for reaching out to T. Higgins. Don't listen to people because it wasn't your fault, and it wasn't his fault. It was just a freak accident. And he had an underlying condition he probably didn't know about, and it just came to light. And shout out to God, because God gonna watch after you, man, one way or another.
You better say it again.
Trust me, I tell you, my grandparents used to always tell me, man, God is a healer, God is a provider, and trust me, I feel that 100%. And to see him get off that breathing tube, because trust me, I've been in that situation that he's in with a breathing tube. Once you get off that is a blessing that you're breathing on your own, man, because it could have went, so many other ways. Right. But God, like I always say, he can get your attention anytime he wanted. And he got the world's attention with that. Yes. But I'm happy to see him, keep progressing, and hopefully he'll be back up moving around. No rush.
No rush.
No rush. Pray Godspeed on his recovery, and he keeps progressing every day. That's all we can all ask for. And trust me, like I said, man, God is good all the time, brother.
All the time, God is good. We found that out this week, man. Just the outpouring of all the sports community, not just football, basketball, hockey, just everyone. That was just an awesome outlook. I'm gonna go through these comments real quick, and then we'll get right to you, brother. Okay. Dave, what's going on, Dave? Dave says these health professionals are so underpaid. Absolutely, as our teachers, as our, I was talking to my wife about this, and we were having that discussion. Until, it takes tragedies, unfortunately. 9/11. We realize how underpaid firemen and policemen are. School shootings, we figure out how underpaid teachers are. And then now you get into these first responders. And again, the first responders aren't the doctor people. The first responders are not getting the money that actual surgeons and doctors are making. So don't get it twisted. While they are schooled and they are professionals, it's not the same. So in moments like that, when you're talking about how quickly they got to him, I just think that's awesome.
And I agree with that 100%. And one point that I always, I had this discussion with people all the time. Teachers should be some of the highest paid professionals on this earth, because you think about what they're doing. They're teaching our kids to get them ready for life. And it's basically a teenage daycare. Because let's be real about it. You at school from 8 o'clock all the way to 3:45, 4 o'clock. Some even later than that with after school programs. You talk about sports, coaches, all that stuff. So, I mean, to say teachers are underpaid is an understatement.
And I'll take it one step further. You were talking about that I was about to say when you said daycare. There are some children that go to school and see their teachers more than they see their parents at home, especially today in the two parent working household. So shout out to all the teachers out there.
They're raising our kids too.
Absolutely they are. Absolutely. I got Rusty on here. I was giving him a shout out. Rusty had that kid, had that young man, that future Falcon player this week. So we give a shout out to Rusty again. Say I have his Falcon gear ready for Sunday. Said these Ryan Tannehill to Atlanta talks are starting to heat up. One word, man. Arthur Smith is entering year 3. Time to get a real quarterback and stop signing bums to play the most important position in North American sports. Rusty, you can tell Rusty. Rusty,
my dude, man. One thing I
like Rusty been riding with me for a long time, and I know he probably been riding with you too, man. This cat, if you want to get the real, Rusty ain't afraid to get into it. Rusty, give it to me.
I'm telling you, Uncle Steve, Rusty should have been a preacher because he gonna tell it like it is.
Well, speak on that real quick. The Ryan Tannehill thoughts. I'm kind of. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like Rusty. Yeah.
See, this is why I love sports, and I'm not bragging, but I talked about this 2 months ago.
Yes, you did. I said
Ryan Tannehill probably gonna be a Falcon next year.
Yeah,
he's not going to work out in Tennessee because that offensive coordinator, just like Arthur Smith in Tennessee, they depend too much on Derrick Henry. But as far as Arthur Smith, is this a smart move? I would say no, because you run with that young quarterback, see what he got, and Ryan Tannehill has been around a while. Yeah. And if your job is on the line, do you really want Ryan Tannehill under center?
Absolutely not.
Okay. I rest my case.
That was the quickest case you ever was, Smitty.
I'll be waiting on that check.
Oh man! We ain't gonna pay you, bro. You court appointed. We ain't gonna pay you no money. All right, we got false start in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you as always. David says, back to football. I'm still not convinced that Ritter is our guy. He must play much faster than he has. He can't look overwhelmed against another tough defense. So I'm gonna go here, and I want to make it clear. On January 6, 2023, I'm not telling anybody that Ritter is the 100% no questions asked quarterback going into next season. And my hopes is that Ritter can be that guy, because in the best case scenario, you don't want to invest in that position highly because you got so many other things you need to tend to on this team. And I know you're about to echo me on this, Smitty, because we've talked about it before.
Oh,
would I absolutely don a Lamar Jackson jersey if he comes to the Falcons? You bet your behind I would. I'd be the first one ordering one. But best case scenario is that he would transform into that guy. And I know I'm gonna let you speak on that. Go ahead, brother. I was just giving my.
I think I need to preach one more time. I don't care how much talent you think you have at quarterback,
right?
Or how much talent Lamar Jackson has at quarterback,
right?
The biggest question is, can Arthur Smith call the plays to help those guys develop and to make this a top-notch offense? And I just said this on one of the videos I just made. Y'all go check it out right now.
Please.
I said it on the Mariota video. This team will not evolve unless Arthur Smith learn how to call explosive plays, situational play caller. We talk about that all the time. But if he can't learn to call those plays, those explosive plays to open up this offense, this team is never going to go anywhere because they're pounding the ball, killing defenses. And you mean to tell me you don't know how to call a play action or no huddle, or get the ball to one of your top receivers or your top tight end? That's a problem all day, folks. I'm going to just be real with you. I don't care if we got Desmond Ritter. I don't care if we got Lamar Jackson. Hell, I didn't give a damn we had Joe Montana. If they're not calling the right plays, this offense is not going to evolve, and we're going to be talking about the same thing next year. Or we may be talking about a new coach. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if it doesn't happen, not even next year, if it doesn't happen through game 6 next year, I think that hook where the Sandman will be coming out quick and he will be making that hook. You and I talked about it before, and I think we
you're gonna be doing
touched on it.
I'm just be honest.
right. Offense coordinator, actually calling plays. I discussed this with you and Alberto of 95 North Sports, and we always shout out our little brother. Make sure we support him on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and press that subscribe button. What are your thoughts about taking the reins away? Listen, I understand he's been working with scraps. I understand that. But we also look at some other teams that had to do that as well. And we see, listen, Detroit is not super uber talented than we are. And they have a raw guy leading them almost to the playoffs. So
confidence.
It is. And it is a little bit of, what kind of coaching staff you have around you. We got Dean Pease telling us this week, I don't know if I want to stay or not. Well, if you act like you don't want to stay, what do you think the players are going to do on week 16, 17, 18?
I'm real with you about that, Uncle Steve. That's code for let me go find something to do before they give me my pink slip. So let's be real, he's not coming back.
You know me and you and Alberto was talking about this yesterday. Hey, that was let me get out before they start putting the engraving on their headstone. Talk about here lies a defensive coach for the Falcons. Right. And so he might be trying to beat the clock to see what's going on. But
he's standing first in the unemployment line telling me when my check coming. I'm just telling you.
That's what I'm talking. I mean, keep it 100, man.
Keep it real.
John says, "What's going on, Smitty?" Shouts out to my brother.
What's going on?
Well, that's the man, Charles B in the house. What's going on, Charles? Say, let's go out there and beat Brady. I agree with that. Lisa says, as a backup, okay, whatever. Talking about Tannehill. As a starter, absolutely not. I'm not on the Ryan Tannehill train at all. And Lisa, I'm not either, but Smitty accented that point to say, even if you brought somebody like that in here, dude, who's gonna be working with him? Are we still gonna be playing this game look, John Harris come over here and he stomps it over everybody's head all this year, and he's got a point. That's you have a running back teaching the quarterback the position, and it's ridiculous.
Teaching the quarterback teaching the wide receivers,
right? TJ Yates. That's right. And we're backward. Maybe some of this money we have, Smitty, we could pay for some coaching. Oh no.
Either we're gonna pay for some coaching, or they're gonna have to dish the price of them tickets. It's gonna be
Man.
one or the other.
Yeah, no, you better not say that to this crowd, bro.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Dave says, where is this Coach Smith on the hot seat thing coming from? I'm gonna tell y'all. Let me explain something.
Hey,
I'm gonna be. I know you, and I'm not gonna let you get started because I know how folks been thinking. Let me explain something to y'all. I don't care who coaching. I don't care what your roster is. If you don't win, and if you don't win consecutively, and you look bad in those losses, there is always going to be a cloud over you. I don't care who you are, Cliff Kingsbury. I don't care who you are before this year, Dan Campbell, but he's trying to get it back. I don't care who you are, Ron Rivera. And I got news for people too. Mike McCarthy doesn't win a playoff game coming up this year. Guess where Sean Payton's next polos are going to be coming from? Listen, y'all, it's just a matter of common sense. Arthur Smith's coaching, while yes, to a certain extent, there has been a slight culture change. I agree with that. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say we haven't made changes from the Matt Ryan era to now. But you got to win. If you don't win, all that other stuff don't mean anything. There have been games this year that we should have won truly because of coaching. Couple of them because of player mistakes, execution, but a few of them because of coaching. And when I don't mind saying hot seat, but I also say before people just lose their mind and say, but you can't fire him. He's had this type of roster. He's that type. Think about what you're saying. He's losing. It doesn't matter. So this year, we're supposed to give him a pass and just forget all of the dumb call against the Commanders at the end, the lackadaisical way we went up and down the field against the Chargers, the mistakes we made early in the Rams game that didn't allow us to close that out, some of the execution that we had in the New Orleans game, both of them, even with Ritter. So you don't get it both ways. You can't have an excuse for that. This city, who has already had four losing seasons prior to you get here. I'm sorry. Is it 4 or 3? 4. 4 losing seasons before you got here. Is that right? 18, 19, 20, 23. 3 losing seasons, and now you added 2 more.
Last 2, right.
Last 2. So I want to make sure I'm accurate. Thank you. But we can't keep sitting back talking about let's wait till next year. We can't keep sitting back and pretending like it's all good. We can't keep sitting back and saying, well, just wait till that just bothers me, Smitty, when I keep hearing, let's build the trenches. Let's build the trenches. How many years have we been saying build the trenches? You went into a whole year in 2018, or was that 19? Well, they got all of the.
We've been saying build the trenches in the last 4 years at least.
We've been saying it. And it's not like they're not trying to get a couple of people, but at some point, we have to realize that what we're doing is not working. Am I saying give up completely on Arthur Smith? I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you gotta understand. Fans want wins. We don't want to hear about the execution. We don't want to hear about a 2 tight end set. We don't want to hear about a base defense. We don't want to hear about 3-4-4-3. We don't want to hear about any of that stuff. You know what we want to hear about? We want to hear about, in this scenario, Atlanta wins the division. In this scenario, we'll be the number 5 seed for whatever. That's what we want to hear. I'm sorry, Smitty. Go ahead.
What made it so bad? You got to rant sometime.
I mean, it's
I'm gonna take it back a little bit.
Go ahead, bro.
And rest in peace to this coach, by the way. Martin Schottenheimer. You know him, Uncle Steve.
Oh yeah.
He was the coach of the San Diego Chargers. I think it was 2002 or 2003. But I know it was the early to mid 2000.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Finished with a 14.
I want to say it was the year we didn't make the playoffs. It might have been 13. I think it's 13.
No, it's back further than that. Because
was it before that?
Yeah, I want to say it was the year that
I'm gonna find out.
Broke those touchdown records.
Yeah,
but I don't remember the year. But I do remember the scenario.
And I know what scenario you talk about.
And he still got fired at the end of the season. You know why?
Yes, sir.
Because he could not take out top dog, which was the New England Patriots, and they actually had the better team that year. So if you can't coach your players up to win, you can have a Pro Bowl team. And if they don't win football games, you're going to get fired. You think about all the one possession game that we lost this year. I think it's about 8, if I'm not mistaken. 6 points or less. I'm telling you, 5 of those games we should have won, including the opening game.
Yes,
we were up by 3 touchdowns.
Shoot, both of them, both of the Saints games.
Right. So I mean, come on now.
And giving you some historical background, that was 2006.
Right, the year
they went 14-2. Say it again, Smitty.
And he still got fired.
Say it again. 14-2. Number 1 seed. And to your point, we have to stop making total excuses. I'm not saying there aren't circumstances sometimes, but you said it. 5 games on this schedule we should have won. So, and I'll probably add a couple more if we just played better. But it's just hard, man. It's just disappointing. Let me get to some more of these comments on here. John says, "Amen, Smitty. We got sure Arthur Smith is the man. Got to make sure Arthur Smith is the man for this job." Nacho is in the house. What's going on, Nacho Rodriguez? Always in the YouTube for both of us all the time. What's going on, brother? Rusty says, "Arthur Smith has always been a suspect play caller, in my opinion. I remember watching a Titan playoff game, and I believe 2020, and saying, yeah, to much dink and dunk that requires perfection on each play. Seems like none of his offenses get any easy free points like KC did with Tyreek. Buffalo with Stephon Diggs." I hear you.
And that was actually the year they made it to the AFC Championship game and lost in Kansas City.
Absolutely. Antonio, what's going on, man? Say, let's beat Brady. Either way, we have a top 10 pick. Oh, shoot. We always going for the win, brother. You already know that, Antonio. I appreciate you, brother. Jimmy says, that's what his offense is. When he allowed Ritter to throw deep, we saw what happened. He can't handicap the offense with basic calls. That one pass Ritter threw was dead on target.
Right.
Yes, sir. 10 Stormy Day, how you doing? Say, isn't Arthur a lame duck coach? I don't know about lame duck coach.
No.
That's probably a different.
He
knows this is important.
Right. He just inconsistent.
Right. He knows 2023 is do or die. He knows that. Nacho says, this year in the first part of 2023, you should not fear. But if you do not achieve results after the middle of the season, then the hard road will only start. If he doesn't make it through half the season, brother, Nacho, he's gone. I'm not sure about Arthur, but I do believe in Terry. Would be very interested to see who Terry Fontenot would go after if we were to fire Arthur Smith. Terry gained my respect when he went after Deshaun. That man knows what it takes to win in this league. He ain't worried about nothing like that. I'm gonna stop there with Rusty with you, Smitty, and let's talk about Terry Fontenot. Rusty made I for some reason, and you've talked about this several times about them hiring the coach before they hired the GM. But I'm gonna focus on Terry Fontenot for a second. This is going to be his first opportunity to truly go out there on the little weekend that they can tamper with the players and talk to them
right before the league starts.
Right before it comes out. This is his first year of that. And I'm pretty sure he knows for the first time, he's going to be really scrutinized. How do you think he is going to do in his first year with the pockets full of cash, like he making it rain this year for the Falcons? How do you think my man is going to be in the free agency market this year?
I'm trying to keep from saying something stupid because I'll be stupid in a minute. But
I'll put the mute button on so stay out of trouble.
I think this year, man, after watching them last year going out to Deshaun Watson with money in the bank this year, I expect them to go get a high target free agent. With the talent that Atlanta already has, they don't. I know there's a lot of second and third string players, but they still have good players on both sides of football. You look at the rookies on the offensive side. You look at the two veterans on the defensive side. Those are two players, and Grady Jarrett and AJ Terrell, the cornerstone of this franchise. So he's going to find a way to build around those guys. That's what he's going to be thinking all offseason. How can I build this team and make it competitive? How can I give this team identity? Right. He tried it last year with Deshaun Watson. This year, I think he goes on the other side of the football because he knows that this offense is one player away or two players away from being explosive. So I think he goes to this offseason. How can I make the best move without breaking the bank? If I can find one or two players that are high caliber players, but not going to cost me a lot of money, how can I do that? So he goes into this offseason. I think Ryan Pace, and I know he's going to have some say so. But you got to look further than Chicago and Tennessee.
Absolutely.
So I think he definitely has a plan in place, and he's just waiting to the right time to see how everything falls in place.
It's going to be interesting, man. I have faith that he's going to do the right again. To know that he was even trying to fish for Deshaun in a year that we knew we didn't have any money. And it ended up with he having the $1 million this year. In a year he knew that he was reaching for the stars. So I can only imagine. Listen, and I'm waiting on this, Smitty. You know there's going to be some kind of trade made this year too. Something's going to happen on this team that we're not expecting. And I just think he's so ready to do this, man. I'm telling you, I cannot wait till the business year starts.
And I'm going to tell y'all, I said this a little bit earlier, and people call me crazy. I have so much confidence in this front office with Terry Fontenot. I could see him going after a guy like Aaron Donald. And the reason why I say that, the Rams got to blow their team up. They haven't had a first-round pick in 6 years, and they don't even know which way they're going. Even if, I know he may retire in the offseason, but I could see Terry Fontenot making that kind of move because he knows what this team needs. So I wouldn't rule out anything.
Oh, no. I think everything is on board. I think you only have, and I'm sure we're going to go through next week, we'll go through a post-season review of what happened. So I don't want to blow a lot of our material going into it. But I think it's only about 3 or 4 guys that I would just assume, maybe 5, that you would just say totally untouchable on this team. I just don't. I just think everything's on the table that I'm just, Tyler, Drake.
I say 4.
AJ, yeah, maybe 4.
5,
4 or 5. Yeah, 4 or 5, and that's it.
Grady, AJ, Chris Lidstrom,
Hey,
Tyler Algier,
Drake,
and Drake. Yeah.
That's about it. I think everybody else is
Honorable mention.
Who that?
Mention. Troy Anderson would not let him
Yeah.
go.
And I think with the right DC, we might unlock some. I'm trying to tell y'all, homeboy is fast, but he looks fast and sometimes lost. So I'm almost wondering if you get somebody. Got to give Dan Quinn a lot of credit for this because they said he did this in Seattle and now he's obviously doing it in Dallas. He simplified things so much that the guys just had to go out and actually have their own instincts as opposed to thinking too much. You could just tell sometimes I just see in Atlanta, there's just too much thinking to me. And when you think too much, I think that just takes your God-given instincts away where you're not able to perform. I see Michael Parsons, and I'm just saying to myself, why don't more teams do that? Why don't more teams just he lines up everywhere and just sits it, goes and reads the offense and lines up anywhere. Why can't Troy Anderson be that person for us? Now, I'm not trying to tell you he's Michael Parsons, but I am telling you with the speed, probably need to gain a little weight next year, and he'll get that stamina up. I think he can be that guy.
And you got to understand too, he's still kind of raw at the position because he's a former quarterback and running back.
Right.
So he's learning on the go. And I can see him evolving a lot next year. And to go back to Terry Fontenot, and I didn't think about this to just now when I read one of the comments in the chat. Terry Fontenot is one of the best GMs when it goes to shopping north of the border. He found D Alford, and he's probably going to come back and probably going to compete for a starting spot.
Yes.
Go back to New Orleans. He has a guy, Devin Barreau, cornerback, about 6'3" to 6'4". So he knows how to find talent north of the border. So that's going to be another option that he has. Not only free agency, not only the draft, but the CFL. It's another, spot he's going to look at. And I'm going to do a little bit of research to see what kind of players are there that could come back down to the NFL. And y'all going to say Terry Fontenot, he's a smart guy.
I'm about to be blasphemous. I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to see how many people maybe he could pluck away from our arch nemesis down there in the bayou.
Oh, he gonna do it.
Look, now that he got some flash money, maybe he might be able to move who knows? Maybe we might be able to do that.
McCoy is definitely on my watch list. The center, he's definitely on my watch list. So absolutely, if we get 2 to 3 players from that team that's going to help us, we're going to be making Saints gumbo for the next 5 years.
I'm going to run through these comments real quick. We coming up to work time for a brother, so let me run through a few more. Charles B, should the Falcons go after Clowney from Cleveland? I'm going to let you answer that. Yeah, no. I unless he planned on giving us a very friendly deal, which I don't think he will, I would not go after. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm gonna just give you my thoughts.
Heavily overrated. Heavily overrated. Maybe the most least talked about bust in NFL over the last 10 years. Is that fair? Number one overall. And he had at one time, now I don't know what he's done this year, prior to this year, and I'm trying to think, was that prior to 2021? Might have been 2021. He hadn't even had a double-digit sack season.
Smitty, let me even break it down further. He had less sacks than Vic Beasley. Before going into 2021, go back. Before 2021 season, he had less. Number one overall, live off one college play in a bowl game player. He had less sacks than Vic Beasley. So if you can't put that in perspective, now if he come now, I will say this: if he come and say I'll take $3-4 million, I'll bring him out. But I can't pay him. I can't pay him. Yeah. Nacho says, and let's remember Zach Taylor in the Bengals, at first it cost him, and then they asked him for his head, but the owners gave him confidence, and now he has them contenders against Super Bowl. That also helps that they have one of the great.
Let me talk about that right quick.
Okay, go ahead.
This is how fast you can turn around. This is the perfect example why you don't have to have superstar players. You just have to have the right people in the right place.
Yes, sir.
The Bengals went on a shopping spree last year and had a lot of second and third string players, and they took the guy from New Orleans, and he ended up with 14 sacks last year, and they flipped the whole team around. So it's all about the right price at the right time.
Absolutely. Anthony Booker comes in and said next year's are running out of time, and if Arthur Smith doesn't win next year, it's time to move on. The right moves and coaching should have this team on track. I agree with you 100% on that, Anthony. I don't even think you wait. Again, if we're not succeeding by midpoint next year, I don't think there's any reason to hold them back. Antonio says, I think the cap space is going to end up at $100 million, 9 draft picks, no excuse why we can't upgrade the talent. That's a very good and astute statement. They just signed, YouTube TV just signed on for they just bought the rights to the NFL ticket for $12.4 billion. Yes, it would not shock me, Antonio, if that cap moves up another $10 million and helps us out. My brother Jonathan, what's going on? Jonathan says, I'm trying to find positives about the season. We are too, my friend. We are too. Out of Your Falcon Mind joins us. What's going on, brothers? Y'all make sure y'all check them out on YouTube. Out of Your Falcon Mind. It's John and Mike doing their thing.
Always a great time.
Always. They do their show. Is their show Thursday?
Thursday.
Y'all make sure you put Thursday. It is Thursday. Make sure y'all check them out on Thursday evenings. And I can't remember the time, but put the time into the chat. Is it 8 p.m.?
Yeah. 7
p.m. I'm sorry. 7 p.m. on Thursdays. Check them out. I'm sure they're going to be doing some things in the off season.
It's going to be all this, bro. We're going to have a ball. Trust me.
My boy Mike is crazy. I love Mike. Oh, man. John is my man, too, though. John, both of them, man. Y'all check them out. Paul Starr said this offseason will tell us the story. Smith might be going into the season on the hot seat. John says on that question about Terry and do the right thing with the money, time will tell what he will do. I'm gonna run through these, like I said, real quick because y'all know a brother got to make some money in a few minutes.
You got to make it to that mail truck with 2 flat tires in the back of the pocket.
Look, man, we fixed the flat tire in the 2023, Smitty. Come on, man. Look, I told you we fixed it. Why are you trying to act like we do? You can roll on 3 tires. You know what? Speaking of which, real quick on a personal man, I had to change my brakes the other day, man. Dude, I don't even want to tell you how much it made, boy, but brother got to get some overtime to get that back. David said,
I already know. Trust me, I know.
Had to change. Oh man, front and back. Now
get you a C-clamp and go to work.
Yeah. Right. Fair point about Arthur Smith. If we start off 2 or 4 worse, it's time for him to go, but that doesn't change the fact that Ritter has to play. Oh, no, not at all. And again, I don't want it twisted to act like I'm raw Ritter. Listen, I'm raw anybody that plays for the Falcons, but I am saying into this offseason, it's not going to hurt my feelings if they say, let's go all in on Ritter and really build the support. It's not gonna hurt my feelings if they say let's shoot for the moon and get whoever's out there and try to steal. And again, just because we shoot for the moon for quarterback, if we happen to for somebody like Lamar, we not gonna be poor after that. It's not like we can't make any moves. So I don't want that to get twisted, but I'm down with whoever comes in here. But I just want to see some progress. Out of Your Falcon Mind says Terry is very versed in shopping in the discount aisle. I'm optimistic with the cap space he's going to have. It's pretty amazing to do what he's done with historic dead cap money. That's true. Jimmy Wayne says Donald to Atlanta would be awesome. Oblivion Empire is in the house. What's going on, brother? He says, what's going on out of your Falcon mind? Anthony says, everything's on the table with Terry Fontenot. Make it happen in 2023. Brother Ghost Pepper's in the house. Said, what's going on,
Lord.
Steve and Smitty? You know Ghost Pepper's ready for answers. What are y'all thoughts on silent Kalen Sanders or Dalvin Tomlinson? Draft Gervin Dexter or Tulu? Man, don't get me
the
live.
UFC defensive end.
Yeah. Look, I'll learn how to pronounce their names when they get on the roster.
Right. They call Tutu and leave it alone.
Yeah. Anthony says, Pro Steve, DQ tried that with Vic Beasley and failed. Yeah, to a certain extent, but again, these are different players. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like it totally worked with Vic. It worked one year, but I don't do one-hit wonders. I think we need a little bit more than that. Armani's in the house. What's going on, nephew? I say, I do believe in Terry Fontenot in the scouting department. Out of your Falcon mind, as the game slows down for Troy, dude will be a monster. All of the athleticism in the world. Like you said, when he can play without thinking, watch out. Absolutely. Dixon, the Dixon way, y'all check him out, man. Larry and his wife be putting it on for the live stuff that they do on there. I saw the other night staying up late for Sacramento in that win.
That Golden State game was funny where he had.
Man, I'm trying to tell dude. I almost hate to say this. When we lose, he funnier when he lose.
Look,
and he know I got love for him. He be more entertaining when we lose.
Man, boy.
But y'all go subscribe to the channel. He know I'm messing with him. But all kidding aside, man, that's all good. I'll run through two more, man, and then we'll side us off. Boggs is in the house. Do y'all think we should go after a cornerback in the top 3 rounds? Because the secondary is probably as well as a pass rush. What you think, Smitty?
Yeah, and I'll give y'all the perfect example. Sean Tucker, running back from Syracuse. Y'all go look him up. I think he's one of those guys that has breakaway speed. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Michael Turner. So, yeah, I think they can get a decent running back in the second and third round.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to get a couple of people that haven't been in here. Winston, what's going on, brother? How you doing? What is going on? And everybody out there. John says, hey, Steve, do you work for the post office at the airport? I've been out there for Delta for 24 big years. John, if you ever see a postal truck out there, and I don't know what time you work, but if you see one in the afternoons into the evening, more than likely that's me, because I've been doing that job. I've been at the post office for 27 years, but I've been doing that particular job for 22 years. And yes, so if you see a post office truck, John, make sure you wave me down. It's either me or I have another coworker. We usually handle the evening shifts over there. So if you do see
you're blessed, boy. That's a job, boy.
Hey, absolutely, brother. Look, don't think I don't know it, man. I'm gonna end right here, man. Brother Smitty, I appreciate you as always. Please tell them where they can find you and let them know what you got in store for them in the off season. Oh, not only that, but post game Sunday.
Okay, that's right. Quick, y'all know where to find me, man. Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube, Spotify, and this Sunday after the Falcons Buccaneers game, we're going to have a hoorah. It's going to be everybody. So I'm going to send the link out to everybody tonight. And y'all make sure y'all tune in. If Uncle Steve can be there, Out of Your Falcon Mind podcast will be there. It just be everybody, man. Just tune in because we're going to have a ball. We're going to try to run this thing up to 1,000, 2,000 watches at one time. We just going to have a ball, man. And we're going to recap the season, then go into the off season, man. We're going to talk draft and all that.
And y'all already know, man. Smitty, I'm trying to tell you, one of the guys that really stirs the pot in the Atlanta Falcons creator world on YouTube. So please give us love. Like I said again, shout out to our little brother Alberto on
right.
Yes, sir, 95 North. We're gonna give it. Please make sure you subscribe to his channel. The goal is to get all us little under 1,000 subscriber folks, over 1,000. So y'all help a brother out. I think
we're gonna get that.
I think it was 880 something. So I know by the time we get to the draft, we'll be there. But yeah, I'm gonna try to hop on. You know, I'll be at the game, Smitty, but I'll try to hop on afterwards. Y'all go to Smitty's Sports Machine this Sunday after the game. It's gonna be live. It's gonna be funny. It's gonna be cool. So y'all make sure y'all check that out.
The Dixon way. If you want in, I got you. I found a way to get in touch.
Oh, man, please, you better let him in, man.
Oh, yeah. I need. Hey.
Look, again, it's so crazy. I gotta see him. I gotta see us lose for him to be on. He is, boy.
I don't blame about being mad about that Golden State game because we were killing them.
Boy, we were mad. He was mad, boy. He
54 points though. You can't be too mad because Klay Thompson, boy, he was hot as soup out there, man.
Sometimes you got to give credit where credit is due, and Klay. I just hate that he wasn't the one to win it because that little loony play was lucky to get the little bounce out. That was lucky as I don't know what. But look, y'all take care. Let me go make some money. I will catch y'all after the game on Spitty Sports Machine Sunday. Y'all make sure y'all go check it out. The aftermath will be on Monday. We'll see y'all then. Take care. Peace, Smitty. I appreciate you, brother. We'll catch you on down the line. Y'all be good. All right, brother. See